Welcome to the Put On Waivers Media Group, home of the Put On Raiders podcast and the Student Body Right podcast. This is your place for the best breakdowns and the best insight for those who fight on and bleed silver and black. Now, here are your hosts, Dwayne Douglas and Ryan Holmes.
Welcome, everybody, to the glorious episode of the Student Body Rights USC podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Douglas, along with my, I found Coach B, and he's coming on the show again. I love talking USC football with him. You can reach him at BlueDVL21 on Twitter, and we always are podcasting on the beautiful shores of the Pacific Ocean out here in California. So it's Notre Dame week. It's USC, Notre Dame. You got to have fun with that all the time, all the history. They're not wearing those ugly green jerseys, are they? I hope they're not wearing those ugly green jerseys because I can't stand those jerseys. We'll see what happened there. So obviously the Arizona game, the Colorado game did not go the way USC wanted it to go. I don't think it means that they should have dropped in the standings, but the real standings are coming out later on anyway. It's kind of funny to see a team be undefeated and drop with the reigning Heisman Trophy winner. It's like they get punished for maybe, okay, your defense isn't that good, but like there's some teams who offenses have been horrible, but they don't get punished for that when we're in the top 10, but it doesn't matter. It's
us, right? It's us. It's us. That's the one. And one of the things I think that people are expecting, it's like what their expectations were based off of last year. Basis how we're performing based off this year. I think that's why we're dropping. Like you said, no other team. There's not another team in the country. Well, there's very few. I feel like there's maybe one, maybe two teams in the country that I say that have had outstanding performances. But Georgia hasn't looked good. They haven't dropped in the standings. Yeah. They looked good in one game. Kentucky game. That's the only game they really look good.
But wait, Kirby said that all the SEC teams should be ranked. Every single one of them. Every single one of them.
Yeah, which is how make that make sense. When half your teams came out to West Coast and lost, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
Cal played Auburn to 3 points. Like, come on, man.
Like my daughter would say, be so for real. Be so for real.
Yeah, right. He's unserious. He's unserious.
All right. So a couple news and notes. One, when Mekhi Lemon got drafted, I do NFL show too as well. When he got recruited, he was recruited as an athlete. So people were like blowing up my DM saying, "Why is Mekhi Lemon playing the cornerback?" Well, I'm sure this wasn't the first time they've seen him play cornerback.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. So they're gonna see what could happen there. He hasn't been bad in the return game either, but we talked about Mekhi Lemon, and then I got another question about the wide receiving core. But go ahead with the first your first reaction when you hear about Mekhi Lemon playing.
I liked it. I liked it. I watched him in high school. I liked it. I watched him the last year when they went out to Heritage, I think it was last year when they went to Florida. In that game. And he played it pretty well. Like he can play the corner position pretty well. I think he's been practicing more with the guys. I mean, because you got to think about it. Our receiver room is packed, right? Our receiver room is packed. So I can see him, being out there taking reps on certain days with the defense, being out there with the DBs taking reps, and just practicing, getting acclimated with that room and understanding the calls and understanding stuff that we want to do, right? And we were injured, right? I mean, for whatever reason, we're injured on the back end, and we have to make a change. Yeah. What we're looking at is not working. So I would be more upset if we didn't do anything, right? If we have a guy like Mekhi that can actually play the position and we're not going to use him, I'd be upset then. I hate when people get upset about making a change that we see is clearly necessary. Yeah. And no one's saying he's going to take a bunch of reps from anybody. It's more or less that we're going to give him some reps. We're going to allow this kid to play, and we're going to see what he got. Because at this point, can he be any worse?
No, he can't be any worse. I mean, my thing is here's a question. Like, I mean, I do think, Sierra Wright has had his moments. I thought right after the Buffalo game, but the Colorado Buffalo game, I felt really good about Christian Wallace, and he obviously he had something wrong with him. But do you feel like when you're inserting somebody who is young into this spot, you feel like you want him to play a little bit more man, where it's like kind of like not with a little bit of help over the top, or you want to just sit him in his zone, get him acclimated that way, like because obviously you're in the combination of both. But if he's on the field, you think man will be a little bit easier. Hey, you got 12s on the field, you got him be in his left pocket.
So for me, I think I would rather play him a little zone. I want to play a zone. I want to get him a tackle, right? Because our problem hasn't been coverage, it's been tackle.
Get him a tackle
on the outside. Yeah. So I want to get him tackling. I want to get him saying, because the one thing you have to say is to yourself is, because we don't tackle a lot in practice as it is, right? Yeah. So now I want to get this kid on the outside, have him tackle, say, oh, I can tackle these guys. So now he's getting comfortable on this level. Yes, he's a freshman, but we got to get him on this level saying, I can do it. Mentally get the confidence. On this stage, like you said, it's a big stage. We're in South Bend, right? Yeah. We're at a night game. We got a night game in South Bend. So on this stage, we're gonna have to get him acclimated, and saying I can tackle. I believe he can cover. I believe he can run step for step with anybody. Yeah. Can you come downhill? Can you make the open field tackle? Because if you can do that, you earn your spot on this team. We have Damani that can play man coverage. We can. I mean, and that's again. I think that Alex may go into this and say, hey, we want to lock down the outsides, play man on the outsides, so we can stop the run. And then Sam Hartman's going to have to make a great pass every pass he makes. Yeah. And, we got Kalen back there, and Kalen can be our eraser, right? He can be our eraser at the safety position. Yeah. But for me, to get the kid acclimated, as a guy who coaches defense, to get him acclimated, I want him to tackle. Yeah. I want to get him out there, get him in space, and see if we can do it. Because that's going to be the make or break on this guy. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's gonna be the biggest thing. That's what we want. I think as a team, we want to, when they get the ball, we want to make a stop. Yeah. But that was our biggest issue in Colorado. When Colorado game, when they caught the ball, they got 15 to 20 more yards after the catch in the second half.
Can't do that.
We can't give that up. So right now, what we need to do is say, can we make a stop? Can we make a tackle? You know what I mean? And so that let's go there. Let's go to where we can make a tackle and get Makai out there and say, hey, and now, kid, you can do it. Now you're strong enough. That weight room is all the weight room is paid off. All that stuff's paid off. And now he's not afraid of these guys because I can bring these guys down. Oh, and by the way, I can also cover these guys.
Makes sense. Zachariah Branch, I just saw, Notre Dame has a pretty good special teams unit, but and a really good kicker, but they are one of the worst teams in the kickoff defense. So obviously,
right.
You might see a lot of kicks go out of bounds, if you will, because not to even bother with it. But if they do kick short, Zachariah Branch return to practice, so hopefully he can play. I know Damani Jackson return to practice as well. So it's not the NFL, it's college. You gotta wait to see who drew. Wait to see who comes out the tunnel.
Right, you gotta see who dresses out. Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see there. But I've heard my good friend Joel Klatt, and I love Joel Klatt. He's so good. I used to like him a lot, but now it's just like kind of like he's a click warrior now on his videos now. USC, outside of Zachariah Branch, doesn't really have any talent at wide receiver.
Here's the thing. I don't know how you look at Brendan Rice and say we don't have talent. I don't know if you look at Dorian Singer and say we don't have talent.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. I don't know. I mean, that comment is just idiotic in and of itself. Have we been clicking though? No. Have we been putting up performances?
Especially singers, but the Singer Williams, I feel like it could break any moment. But like
it can.
It just has to have that moment where they get on the same page and get everything
right. Done. So how do you look at Taj Washington and say we don't have talent? That kid's a monster. He just plays. Yeah. I love his tenacity. The kid just plays. He's always open for some reason. Yeah. I don't know how talent doesn't just always get open. I guess you can just stand there, I guess. I don't know. But again, I think that when you look at that, and I hope Deuce gets a lot of play this game. I think he needs to be part of our package this game. For the sheer size, right? Sheer size. He can get up, especially in the red zone. We can kill him in the red zone with them. So I look at it in the sense that we haven't been clicking in the last 2 games offensively, though. Okay. Whether it be play calling, whether it be trying to not be Zach-centric, because I think in the first couple games it was Zachariah-centric, right? Screen game, big plays, everything was built around Zachariah Branch. However, I think that we'll find our groove, and this probably be the game that we'll need to find our groove and get our footing. We haven't looked in the last 2 games. We haven't looked like our offense of last year. Not even our offense of the first 2 games, right? Our offense is pretty much sputtered. We went down 17-0. People put that on our defense. I put that on our offense. Our offense, our offense put our defense in bad positions. We go down 17-0.
They went 3 and out like the first two possessions. So yeah.
Right. So now our defense. So if we're a team built to play ahead, not from behind. But I like the fact that we are gritty enough to say, okay, we can take our team out of our defense can step up and get stops so our offense can begin clicking. Right. I think this is one of those games where our receiving core is going to have to show up. I think Marshawn Lloyd. Again, I don't know why we stopped running him in the fourth quarter. Like, what is? I'm convinced he's injured. Like because I in the whole first half, we're running the ball, we're punching the ball down their throat, and all of a sudden in the fourth quarter, we're using Austin.
Yeah, which I don't have a running. Yeah,
it's not that we're using Austin. It's the play calling when Austin gets in the game.
Yeah.
Right. I don't have a problem with using Austin, but the play calling changes from when Marshawn's in the game. Yeah. And that's the difference. Like last year, you couldn't tell who was in the game, whether it was Travis Dye or Austin. You couldn't tell. Right. The play calling stayed the same. Now when Austin gets in the game, the play call gets a little like cute. Like, don't be cute. Do the same things we did last year. Yeah. Again, Austin may be hurt. I'm not sure, but something's going wrong. Something's different in our backfield right now, where we're not able to close out games with our running backs. And we should, because Marshawn Lloyd is that guy. He's one of those guys.
Yeah, he is. No question about it. Dwayne Douglas here with Coach B trying to preview USC Notre Dame. Big game, 4:30 Western time. I'm not worried about East Coast. 4:30 Western time. So looking at looking at Notre Dame real quick. I'm going to break down Notre Dame in a lot of ways. I think people got psyched up because of the Golden Dome, and it's Notre Dame, and college football so badly wants this team to be good. So they get Sam Hartman. They're so saying they get Sam Hartman. Sam Hartman is a solid quarterback, not a world beater, not a guy who's going to change the way, you play. I mean, the pocket passer, where he's going to be. Louisville knew where he was going to be. He sacked him like 25 times. Everything's built around Estime offensively. They're very. This is the one game where if a wide receiver goes nuts in this game, I'm trying to be as patient as I can with Alex Grinch. If that happens in this game, then they really got to take away play calling duties. This is not a great receiving core. The only guy who anybody should be worried about for USC should be Mitchell Evans. This has been a big tight end school. They've been really good at producing tight ends. I got one of them on my team. Jimmy Garoppolo finally decided to throw him the ball against the Packers. But to me, I don't know how you break down their offense. I'm breaking down their offense right now, just thinking about it. And I watched it on all 22. What are your thoughts about? Am I missing anything about when I'm describing Notre Dame's offensive unit?
No, I don't think so at all. And so here's the thing: I think Hardman. I was really big on Hardman, right? I thought Hardman was going to upgrade Notre Dame. I won't say he hasn't upgraded Notre Dame. I'll say that he needs another year in the system, which he won't get, right? But what people fails to realize about Hardman was the year before he had A.T. Perry. Now, A.T. Perry was also 6'6", could run 6'4", between, I think 6'5", let's call him 6'5". could run 4-4, right? And he can go get every jump ball that you threw at him. I think Sam Hartman's learning right now he doesn't have that. And the offensive line, he doesn't have a guy that's going to bail him out on the back end. Mm-hmm. I also worry about Notre Dame's tight ends, though, because that's been Alex's Achilles heel. When we played them last year, Michael Mayer went for over 150. When we played Dalton Kincaid, again, I got another guy that went over 150 yards. When we played against good tight ends, we look at the Oregon State game, their tight end was killing us when he wanted to.
Musgrave.
So if we look at tight ends, that's the Achilles heel to Alex's defense. At some reason, we get beat all the time with tight ends. Yeah. Even if you look at the Colorado game, they had key receptions by who? The tight end, right? So I'm looking at that and I'm saying, okay, that's my worry. That's my fear. I don't think Estime is going to – Estime, we did a pretty good job on him last season, right? What we're going to have to do, though, we're going to have to play Shane Lee again. Shane Lee is going to have to be in so we can have a run stopper, right? Come downhill. Like Tackett Curtis, this is not the game for you, right? I believe we can match up on the outside. It's kind of like what you said, right? We can match up on the outside. No receiver should be able to play with us on the outside. So we should be able to say, okay, Estime is going to be a problem. Let's put Shane Lee in. Let's leave Mason Cobb in. Let's play. We're going to play their brand of football in a sense on defense. Estime is not getting any yards. Our pressure is way better than Louisville's pressure, right? They're not going to get, if they sack them a bunch of times, Bear's going to have his come out party and get ranked and be a top. He's going to be in a first round pick conversation if he can come out, right? Because he's about to have this coming out party on Saturday. He has to. I mean, Jalil Muhammad coming out party, right? I mean, if you haven't noticed that dude by now, if anybody hasn't noticed him, just knows what I said. Jalil Muhammad is going to have a field day with Sam Hartman being able to not be able to move. So I wholeheartedly think you're right. I very, very am worried because the way they're able to third down is going to be critical for us to be able to match up well with the tight end. And I think that should be Mason Cobb's job. I think Mason Cobb is going to have to worry about tight end or whoever our nickel is. You know what I mean? I think that's where you use if we're going to use somebody there, use a Bryson Shaw down in the box, right? Use him down in the box to play the nickel. He's supposed to tackle anyway. He can't cover, he's not going to cover a receiver. He's going to want to tackle. So use Bryson Shaw down in the box. Let him play head up on the tight end. Then, hey, bring in Zion Branch. I don't know where he's been at all year. I don't know what his injury is or what, but we need him.
So a question about that, and it's about I think people are getting a little frustrated because it seems like it's we talk about accountability, and like all the stuff like that, and it seems like they kind of avoid it just a little bit because it's like, the better athlete is definitely Zion Branch.
Easy.
It's not even close, and you can play the quote unquote smarts or whatever all you want, but like at the end of the day, if there's some of the mistakes in the secondary, I mean, like you cannot give me the athlete covering a big time weapon rather than a guy who is the non-athlete, who is the try hard guy. Like he's a box safety, right? Bryson Shaw, put him in the box when on obvious running downs.
Right. Let him play the tight ends. Like that's what we can win with that. Put Zion back there. We're gonna be there. Where's Fagan's been? Put him back there. What? I fail to realize again what's happening with especially guys. And look, I'm not the biggest Shane Lee fan. Don't get me wrong. I think he gets out of position a lot, but he also makes up for a lot. Also in the run game, right? Put him in the box. Let's go to work. I like Tackett. He's not ready right now. He's not ready. If we haven't seen from all the snaps, the kid he's just not ready. And like I said, I like him. He's not ready though.
Do you feel like they have to, you feel like they're worried about him? He's not a transfer portal candidate. Like, why are they so worried about getting him snaps?
I feel like in full parts of me, and I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying anything like that. I feel like there are promises made. I'm not saying that that's exactly what happened, but when I'm watching my team play,
for him to come over,
yeah, I'm watching the team play, and I'm saying we have better guys on the sideline.
Yeah,
and they're standing on the sideline. Yeah. And the one thing I always respected and I loved about the program was the best player played. Uh-huh. I can't remember before this year I cannot remember a time before this year the best player didn't play.
Yeah.
Even through our worst Clay Helton years, the best player played.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll years, the best player played. I can't remember a time, like, I'm trying to really go back and say I can't remember a time where I was like frustrated because we're not playing well.
Yeah, and it's not that he's bad. He's just like I don't have a problem sprinkling him in, but like when he's a no question starter, that rubs people the wrong way because he's not the no question starter.
Exactly.
With this,
that's what it is.
Core. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, Eric Gentry, bring him in on packages. I'm not saying he has to be the every down guy, right? I like Eric, but he's he shouldn't move out to the end. I'm gonna be honest. Put 15 on him, move him to the end. He's 6'6".
The thing about is that
210.
It is weird though when you look at. I mean, I'm not PFF isn't all world what they say, right? Everything PFF says it isn't always like the 100%, but like his numbers when our defense when he's on the field, Eric Gentry, it's like, geez, like they're really good. And like he's a guy who I would just play off of the tight end and just be like, okay, you want to throw your tight end? Throw over to 6'7", like, you know.
Yeah, throw over him because it's not gonna happen.
Kevin Durant built kind of why
that
kind of guy, make it more difficult. Yeah,
again, obvious third down packages. Then bring in Mason to play the Mike, bring in Tackett in, or bring in Eric in. Like packages. Like I don't understand what we're doing. Again, like you said, when you're sure he has to start, why?
Yeah, I know.
Why does he have to start at this point?
That's weird.
I get getting the guy reps. I understand that, but that he's not a surefire guy.
Not right.
I just don't.
Next year, this time, I think he probably will be. But I'm just right now. I mean, I don't know if promises were made, and like he has one of them dads who are sitting down writing down how many snaps he's taken, just to see,
right,
to make sure. But let's go to the Notre Dame defensive part of the defense. They have some players here who are going to play on Sundays, no question about it. This you can make an argument this is the best defense that USC is going to play, but I mean, if the offense is built on ball control and holding the football, you get some 3 and outs, you get some long situations where it's third and 17, where the USC defense actually converts those. It's a lot of pressure on this defense to be on the field against Caleb Williams. I don't think Caleb Williams being from the DMV, playing in weather, growing up, I think he's not your prototypical I never seen a rainy day quarterback.
No, I absolutely like our chances against this defense. And like you said, I think that the one thing we do is we establish to run early. I think it's going to be a long day.
Yeah.
Because now you're bringing guys up in the box. Although they do got to have guys that play on Sunday, they don't have the secondary that's going to play on Sunday. I don't see that in the secondary. I don't see they have the secondary that's going to be able to match up and be able to, if we go spread, we go 4 out wide, with Marshawn in the backfield, and we split him out to 5 wide, right? You're not going to be able to play. If we start going screen game, it can get very ugly very early. And I think that my thing is that while the defense, I like Marcus Freeman. Do not get me wrong. I love Marcus Freeman as a defensive coordinator. I think he's doing a great job of what he has as a head coach. Yes, things are not going his way. He's had some blunders, Ohio State game, stuff like that. But I think that with him, he can scheme up some things that can make it difficult for us early. But what happens when 13 start becoming 13?
Yeah.
Because the one thing that bothers a disciplined defense is a mobile quarterback.
Yeah.
Because he breaks all the rules. He breaks all your defensive rules. You can do what you want, but Caleb's going to break the rules. And I think that's the one thing that, to me, that's going to be for Caleb to do. He's going to have to break the rules for us to win this game. Because if he does that, because he did it when we played them last year, right? Yeah. He did it last year we played them. He broke the rules, scored some touchdowns, some nice runs, stuff like that, and we were able to ice the game and put the game away. Yeah. Caleb's going to do the same. He's going to have to do the same.
So one question.
Now, I will say the defensive line, this probably will be the best defensive line we've seen.
Yeah. So yeah, that's true. Cross is a good player up the middle. So the guys up front will definitely be Pregnon and people like that will be challenged up front there. What would you? It seems like they were doing a lot of the rush 3, drop 8. where the USC was a little bit slow to recognize that. I watched I watched the Colorado film again, and I was just like, every time Colorado did it, they just got rid of the ball quickly to either like Kyron Hudson or whoever just to get 6, 7, 8 yards. I mean, you can yeah. I mean, I think it's the same thing here. Like, run the football when you see those fronts. And then also, get rid of the ball quickly. And then get up the field. Don't go side to side because there's 8 people back there.
Right.
Get what
they're gonna rally.
Yeah.
Right.
Get your 7, 8 yards, and then we'll live another day because they can't stay in it. You can't stay in it for a whole game.
Well, the one thing I think we'll do, because Colorado was built a little different, right? They ran that 3-3-5 stack. So they were going to drop 8 and on a 3-man rush. I think that if Notre Dame does that, we have to run at them. Don't run around them, run right at them. Make them bring that guy, make them bring 2 guys back in the box. Because in essence, you're going to bring a D lineman to the box, and then you're going to have to bring a backer back in the box, right? To be able to sustain that. And then we start taking our shots. But we're going to have to run the ball for sure.
Yeah, no question about it. So that's Notre Dame in a nutshell. I would say special teams. They do have don't let this be a kicking game. Only with them have the ball last because Spencer Schrader is pretty good as far as kicking the ball.
Yeah, he is.
He's a very talented kicker. He would definitely be kicking on Sundays as well. Always get questions about defense. Always get questions about special teams. And somebody asked the question, hey, how many programs, Blue Bloods or Division I programs don't have a special teams coordinator? And that's something that Lincoln Riley has not had and doesn't have and everything like that. What are your thoughts about that prospect there, about them just not having a guy who is dedicated coach for special teams?
Listen, I'm be honest. Like, I'm not. There's gonna be blunders whether you have it or not. Like Notre Dame has one, and they had Tim. You know what I mean? Like
10 guys on the field.
Didn't do well. Like they're gonna feel like. So I'm not a coordinator. Would it be great to have one? Cool. You know what I mean? That's cool. It's nice to have. But we're not doing anything special on special teams to cause you to have to do, like, we're not doing onsides. Would it be great to have so Lincoln can take some pressure off himself so you're not worrying about that side of the ball? You know what I mean? He could have it broke up because I'm thinking if he doesn't have one, he has it broke up like Grinch, you take care of punt return. That's defense, right?
Yeah.
He'll take care of punt, offense, right? And then we'll put a team out there for kickoff and kick return. And kickoff, Grinch, you got kickoff, and I got kick return. Yeah. Like, I think they could have. I've seen that where they've broken it up that way. Because have we seen an onside kick yet? Have we seen any special? We haven't seen any special trickery. You know what I mean? We haven't seen anything you had to devote an enormous amount of time to force the teams. Hey, kickoff. Extra points. Y'all get out there, offense. Grinch. Lincoln. Where's the ball? Block kick, block punt. Yeah. Grinch, you got that. So yeah, I understand, but I'm not wholeheartedly concerned because, and again, knock on wood, special teams hasn't came back and bit us though.
Yeah.
It has, in his career, and in Grinch's career, I don't remember a time where special teams has been an issue.
Yeah. I would say the only thing maybe fakes and maybe short yardage, but he has Caleb Williams, so like his 4th and 3, he's probably gonna go for it anyway. So like he's gonna go for it anyway. And
exactly.
On size, you mentioned that as well too. So yeah, it really, I totally agree with you on that part of it. It makes all the sense in the world as far as that goes. I did see and I'll leave it here. It's a pretty funny tweet by I don't know if you follow Fight on Rusty. He's pretty hilarious. He is pretty hilarious.
Yeah,
and
he's funny.
He also comes whenever folks come for him, he always has he always has a good comeback and has every USC
comeback. Yeah, absolutely.
Every USC stat you can imagine. The tweet today was if Notre Dame is God's team, why does USC have players named Zechariah, Malachi, Solomon, Michael, Anthony, Prophet, Christian, Isaac, Elijah, and Jonah? I thought that was hilarious. I thought that was pretty good. I thought it was pretty funny. But yeah, I think USC prediction time. I'll let you go first. What's your final score? What do you think?
I got 56. I know 50, 62. I got 62, 62, 30, 62, 31. That's what I got.
I think I'm 62 on the road.
Yeah.
62 on the road. 62 on the road. All right. I'm gonna go with I think it's gonna be a little bit could be weather induced, but I'm gonna go 30, 38, 28. Just a game that, but it's kind of like last year. Like it was a good game, it was a close game, but you don't ever feel like. I never felt like last year that Notre Dame was going to win the game. At any point. So that's
right.
Yeah. So I kind of feel that way now. I just feel like, and I'm not putting everything on Caleb. I just feel like even just like what would it take for Hartman to match Caleb's output? What would it take their offense to match our offense? I mean, you talked about some defensive linemen, some pass rushers. I don't know what it is about number 2, man, but whenever LaMelo Height puts his arm, that arms that
that wingspan.
That wingspan is enormous, dude. And I think he can definitely be a factor. If you can have all these plans and say USC has no defense, all this stuff like that, but at some point in that drive, it's going to be 3rd and 11, 3rd and 15, 3rd and 12. Your offense is not going to play. Your offense can't play perfect. Can you do this? Can you deal with that pass rush on 3rd down? And that's gonna be the issue, because they really can. For all the things that people say about USC's defense, tackle for loss kings, and they get after the quarterback. So and they force turnovers. So those are the things that I would say that Notre Dame have to kind of think about before they automatically go say, hey, we can
absolutely
move the football on USC. All right, Coach B.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining us here on the Student Body Right USC
Appreciate
podcast. I know you're traveling. Take care, brother.